Hello there and welcome to my first Facebook Live on Girl Power Ignite. So first of all, I just want to start by saying thank you so much to Dallas and to Julia for finding me and for inviting me to come and speak to you today about how to create a vision for your book. So if you're watching me for the first time, hello, my name is Daniela Blechner. Who am I? I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We work with women all over the world who have powerful messages and stories to share with the world and help them to get their books out there on a global scale. So every single book you can see here on my bookshelf is a book that we've published over the last 18 months. So we're immensely proud of the work we've been doing. We're looking for authors that educate, inspire and empower, because I believe that every single one of us has a unique story, a unique journey. And our story, our journey could be that very one to connect to that person who needs to hear it the most. So today I'm going to talk with you about how to create a vision for your book. Oftentimes I consult potential authors, I work with men as well, but I consult with potential authors who have amazing ideas for books, amazing life stories. They also have powerful messages to get out there. Hello if you're watching. If you are watching, please do say hello. Feel free to ask me any questions. Let me know where you're watching from, and please do share this out and invite your followers as well. This is a new experience for me going on the Girls Ignite fan page, and I just really want to say thank you again to Julia and Danni for inviting me to come on. So often I speak with authors and they're really fired up about their book. Thank you for the love, thank you for the hearts. Hey Derek, nice to see you. They're really fired up about their books, and they've worked hard on it. They finished the manuscript that was kind of wafting away under their bed, and they've published it, but they haven't understood the whole process that it takes to actually not just write the book, not just publish it, but everything else that comes into it. So one thing I impress on the people that I work with is that creating a vision is key. So first of all, what do I mean by vision? When I first published my book, Mr. Wrong, my first book down here, hello Laurville, nice to see you. That's lovely seeing you. So my first book, Mr. Wrong, I published that in 2014. And I didn't really know, I hadn't done it before, I didn't know what the path was in front of me. So think about your book as a pathway that opens up to greater things. I thank you so much for sharing. Having a book and becoming an author can open huge doors of opportunity for you. So it's about being ready, but also being discerning and calculated, if I can use the word. Hello Tasha, nice to meet you, nice to see you. About those opportunities that you want to come your way. So as much as we can create that vision as possible, the better. Hello Susan, nice to see you as well. Lovely seeing people come in. Hello Dara, nice to meet you. Hey. Please let me know where you're watching from. I'm broadcasting live in sunny, for once, London. So please do say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're interested in writing a book, and tell me a bit about you. If you have any questions, this is a great opportunity to ask them as well. So I'm just speaking about what I mean by creating a vision for your book. What does that mean? It's about not just focusing on the book and getting the book out there. It's about what is that book going to do for you? How are you going to use that book? Thanks so much for inviting people to leverage everything else that you're doing. When I published Mr. Wrong, I had lots of doors of opportunity open for me for radio interviews, for doing seminars, speaking opportunities, joint ventures, strategic alliances, lots of these kind of press, lots of these doors opened up. My passion really was about, uniting, inspiring, empowering women, giving them a space to share their story. I didn't really think about, the bigger vision and what I wanted my book to do for me, in a sense, and what I was going to do as a result of my book. So from that learning, I really, really want to impress that importance. It's really important. These three things are really important when you are considering your vision or when you're laying out your vision to make it plain. The first thing, if you've watched our broadcast before, I'm going to say it's know your why. What do I mean by why? Your why should be the heart, the passion behind everything you do. Simon Sinek is what's the word I'm looking for? A visionary and a serial entrepreneur. He also advises huge conglomerates such as Apple to help them to really get their products and services out there. And one of the things he says is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They buy your intention behind it. So everything you do, everything you write, there has to be an intention behind it. So for example, my why, my passion behind writing Mr. Wrong is I was passionate about educating, inspiring and empowering, or offering a platform for women to have their stories shared, told, to offer a space where we could self-discover, offer a space where we could share our stories without fear of being laughed at, ridiculed, feeling ashamed, but also a place where we could unite and inspire and empower each other through a lot of our, learning from our own past and our stories, our relationship stories. And that was what I was really passionate about. Another part of my why was that I felt as women, we had so many relationship books that told us, if anyone's read Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, just raise your hand, let me know, throw out some emojis, let me know, okay? Decent enough book, but I found that there's so many books out there that told us as women how to be, how to behave, what to say, what to wear, how to play mind games in order to get a man, but nothing that told us how to truly love ourselves, how to understand the power of forgiveness, how to understand the power of our intention, the power of our words, the power of our actions, also how to really understand, question, challenge and examine belief systems that we may have about love, ourselves and relationships, which is key, because I believe if you keep on repeating the same pattern, hey Janine, nice to see you, there's a story that you're telling yourself within, and that's what I wanted to create through this book, and that was what my why was. I was very passionate about that, and Janine will know, Janine was my very first mentee. Can you see your book there, Janine? Everything from Losing His Love to Finding God's Love. Janine was my very first mentee, I think 2 years ago now. So she knows I always talk about, making sure that you have a clear why and purpose and message behind what it is that you're putting out there. You're not just publishing a book for the sake of it. So once you've established that, the next important thing is to know who is your target reader, who's your target audience. A lot of the times I speak to authors or potential authors, and I'll say, who's your audience? Who's your target audience? Women, or no, everybody, first of all. And I always say your book is never for everybody. You do them a huge disservice if you believe your book is for everybody. You're number one, yes you are. You do them a huge disservice by saying that your book is for everybody. Yes, everybody can read, but not everybody's going to interpret the message the same way. So then I say, okay, let's go even deeper. Who else is your book for? Women! Ladies, are we all the same? Do we all think the same way? Do we all act the same way? Do we all experience life the same way? No, we don't. We're multifaceted. We're made up of genders. We're women who come from so many different backgrounds, religions, faiths, beliefs. We have different, thank you so much for inviting some folks, Janine. Yeah, we have different belief systems about things. We're facing different challenges at different points in our lives. We're at different stages in our lives. We've got to make sure that we are targeting our audience correctly. We know who we are serving and we speak directly to them. Another thing I teach in some of the workshops that I run called The Power of Your Story is when you're writing a book, think about that one person. And it's a good idea to do that as well, to detach yourself from, especially if you're telling a personal story, to detach yourself from that and think about that one person who needs to hear your words, who needs to read your story, who needs to really hear your message. And think about that person, give them a name. What challenges are they facing? What are they going through right now? How is your book helping them to... I never think we're solving people's problems. I don't believe in solving other people's problems. But how are you going to help them to deal with a particular challenge in their life? If it's a book written to entertain, how are you connecting to that person? Always have that one person in mind. The clearer you can be about your audience, the more of a service you can do them. Where do they hang out? Where, you need to know where to market your book. Where are these people online and offline? How can you get in front of them? So these are really important things as well. When you're mapping out your vision, one of the first things I get to do with clients that we work with, I offer a free 1-hour vision discovery session, obviously as part of a package, and we sit down and we work out. I get them to write a list of speaking engagements they'd like. Some authors don't like speaking, but I think it's really important to get out there. There's nothing more powerful than actually hearing from the author themselves. So what speaking engagements would you like? If you're writing about, writing a book on health, where can you get in front of your audience, a ready-made audience already? Are there health and wellness conferences going on in your area? Go on to Meetup. Hello, Angie, nice to see you. Go on to meetup.com. See what events are going on in regards to your chosen field. Go to Eventbrite. Look for those events that are already happening, where your chosen market is going to be there already. Speak to the event host. Go to the event. See what the event's like. Get a vibe for it. Create those connections and get those speaking engagements. Because ultimately, you want to get in front of as many people as possible to it's not about selling your book, it's about talking about what you're offering. 3 tips to leading a healthy lifestyle. Make sure you have a call to action. That call to action could be your book, or your book could be there to, I think Michelle was talking about how a book leverages your business last week. Hello, Angie, nice to see you. So your book should, if you're doing your book to enhance your business or to leverage your business, your book should be the tool to lead them to somewhere else. So through your book, are you offering services, for example? Are you going to be running workshops? Are you going to be holding a seminar? Are you going to be offering coaching, group coaching, one-to-one coaching? What is your book say, like, in a sense, what is the next step from your book? Hello, Faye, nice to see you. Hello, everyone, thank you for joining. Please remember to share and invite. Yes, please do share and invite. That would be fantastic. Nice to see you. Thanks. So it's really important to make sure that you've created a clear vision for your book, because I'm going to reset and start again for those who've just come on. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Daniela Blechner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We provide bespoke publishing and mentoring services for authors with powerful messages and stories to share with the world. So today I'm talking about how to create a clear vision for your book. Thank you so much, Julia and Dallas, for inviting me to come on and speak as an expert today. So I've just been speaking about what I mean by vision and why that is important. So know your why, and knowing your audience is the foundation of your vision. Once you understand those 2 things and what your message is, everything else is to be built upon that house, if that makes sense. So making a list of speaking engagements you want to get, getting in front of that audience. We're actually holding a workshop. I think it's, when is it? 23rd of June. And it's going to be led by Simone. He is just an epitome of someone who's so tenacious. Hey, Cece, nice to see you. So tenacious. He wrote a book. He's a TEDx speaker. And he managed in 2017 alone to get himself 200 speaking gigs. I look at him and I think, oh my gosh, if he can do that, we have no excuse. It's doable. 200 speaking gigs, and sold 2,000 books through those speaking engagements. And it's just about being tenacious, finding out what's going on, finding out where your audience are, connecting with event hosts. It's not necessarily about getting paid for it. So you can do this pro bono, because remember, you're there to offer value. You're there to offer a service. You could speak for free for half an hour and get 15 people sign up to consultations for you. Out of that, they might then go on to buy a package from you. So it absolutely is worth it to get in front of your audience as well. Hey, Cece, what's that funny face for? So speaking engagements is really important. JVs, joint ventures, think about who you want to team up with. Who is working in your chosen field that you could maybe do a webinar with, or you could do a joint event with. I am a strong believer in the saying, the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. So no woman, no man is an island. It's about working together. For example, my sister is a health and wellness coach, known as a holistic lifestyle coach, she's known as now. I've encouraged her to write a book. She's writing a book, Your Health is Your Wealth. So I would say to her, find somebody that you could do a joint venture with. It might be somebody who makes smoothies or is into raw food eating, because part of what she does is also about nutrition, or yoga, or something along that fits into her field, but that isn't exactly the same. And see how you can complement each other on your workshop. Danni is a girl power featured pro. Join the movement. I like that. I'll take that label. So it's really important to make sure you're aligning yourself with the same vision, mission, why and purpose as you. Why do I say this? Because now we're going to move to press. Press is important. It's important to make sure that you're featured in the right places. So that could be bloggers, it could be online magazines, it could be physical magazines, it could be radio, it could be television. I'll tell you a little story about why it's important to know your why, your why, your vision and your mission and your purpose, and to stay in alignment with that. Remember, that is your foundation. So when I was publishing Mr. Wrong, the book hadn't come out yet, and I remember getting a call from, it's a well-known women's magazine, reality women's magazine based in the UK. And they called me up. I was like, oh, brilliant. Remember, I was completely new to this 4 years ago. And they'd said, well, we hear that you're writing a book called Mr. Wrong. They hadn't read it yet, so they weren't rooted or didn't have an understanding of my why. My book is about empowering people, empowering women by learning through our stories and knowing that everything happens in our life as a result of a choice we've made, and we are empowered by knowing that we can change the choices that we make and therefore create different outcomes in our life. That's the point of it. There's success stories in there as well. There's stories from men too. It's not a man battering book, although it's called Mr. Wrong. That's why it needs to be read. So they read it and made their assumptions. So they saw the title and they must have made their assumptions. And they said to me, we would love to feature your book in our magazine. This is what you'll have to do. Oh, brilliant. A well-known magazine. It's going to leverage what I'm doing. They've got a huge readership that I could, I don't believe that I could reach on my Jack Jones. And great opportunity. So I said, okay, well, what do I need to do? And they said, well, what we want you to do is to write down all your Mr. Wrong stories. That's not so much what the book is about, but write down all the kind of scandal or stories with exes, and then send in photos with me and them. But don't worry, their faces will be pixelated. So immediately I felt that something inside wasn't right, because it didn't seem empowering. It didn't feel empowering for me, and it wasn't in alignment with my why, because my why is about empowering people. It's not about battering people. I love every single one of my ex-partners because they taught me something about myself, and I'm immensely proud of those lessons that I've learned. They've helped me to become the strong, wise woman I am today, and I wouldn't change it. Part of me is thinking, would I? But that's not what I'm about. It's not in route. It's not in alignment with my why. And because I knew that, I turned it down. And because of the fact, who has pictures of them and their exes anyway? It's a joke me a joke. But the point I'm making is just be clear about what your vision is, what your why is, who your audience is. Because my audience, it isn't people that want to kind of band together and gossip and bitch and whatever. My audience were women who wanted to learn through their mistakes, and women who were resonating on more of a conscious level. So I think that's really important. So hello, Violicia, is it? Sorry. Oh, I'm pressing too many things. Let me just not touch anything because the screen's moving. Thanks for the love, Cece. If anyone has any questions so far, do let me know. Let me know what your name is, where you're watching from. If you're an author, if you're thinking about becoming an author, or if you have any questions about vision, be clear about your vision and your why exactly, and your purpose and your message as well. Really important. Know your audience exactly. If this was the right way around, you could see it says, keep calm, I'm a writer. Okay. So now I want to move on a little bit to promoting your book. So often I speak to authors, people who have already published, and they'll say, well, I've written a book already. All right, cool. Where can I find it? Well, it's on Amazon. Okay, right, brilliant. And what's happened? What's the follow-up? Well, it's just kind of, I published it. It's only on Amazon. By the way, Amazon is just one channel. Okay, you're watching from Jamaica. Oh, is it? I was going to actually call you, but you've gone already. Or we'll catch up, Charlotte. We missed you already. Promoting a book. So I'll say, what did you do in terms of promoting it? Oh, I didn't. Okay. That's why you haven't made any sales. Amazon is a huge channel. It's got, literally millions of books on there. So if you've just published a book and thrown it on there, it's not going to get any traction because nobody knows about it. It's your responsibility as the author to promote it and get it out there. Even if you are hiring people to do it on your behalf, it's really important. It will get missed. It will. The last thing you want to do is publish a book that means something to you. Publish a book that could actually really help other people, and to kind of just throw it on Amazon. It's like having a baby and then not looking after it. The first year of a book's life is so important. So what kinds of things can you do to promote your book? So before I wrote my book, and everything I kind of did happened organically. I think I was just very lucky because I didn't have a strategy or a plan, but everything happened the way that it should do, and I was very fortunate in that sense. In 2012, I set up a blog because initially I had different Mr. Wrong characters, and I got my friend to draw sketches, and I didn't know what blogging was, and I heard about it, and I thought, oh, this sounds like it could be quite a good channel to kind of get myself out there a little bit and connect to some more people. And get some stories. So I put some of these characters up, like Mr. Dreamer, and I said, my name's Daniela Blechner. I am a self-confessed ex, not anymore, I'm all right now. I've had a decade of love the mug, thank you, a decade of dating disasters. Is it just me? I keep meeting these different characters. Please, I want to put together a book that unites, inspires and empowers women through sharing our stories and giving you a platform to learn from those lessons. Does anyone want to send their stories in? And I was inundated with comments of, oh my gosh, I can relate to that, and I've dated Mr. Wrong, or I've dated this. And I had stories flooding in from America, Canada, UK, Jamaica, all over the world, Australia. All of these books all these stories came together and created Mr. Wrong. So this is how it started. Like, that blog kind of went on for 2 years. I posted extracts from the book. So if you have your book, think about setting up a blog. Number one, it's a great way to connect to other people, to connect to your audience. It does take a bit of time though, because you will have to kind of connect to other bloggers too. So how do you do that? Research different topics in your field. For example, if you're writing about, let's say, relationships, you might want to look up codependency or marriage or weddings and find other bloggers who are writing about those similar topics. Comment on their things, build up that relationship, get that relationship going, because you never know, they could guest feature you in a blog and you could also guest feature them on your blog because you complement each other. It's also good because it gets people to see what your writing's like. You want to hook them in, you want them to read what you've written and want to know more. So coming soon, Mr. Wrong. Did you enjoy this extract? Mr. Wrong coming soon, October 2014. Whatever it is, your call to action. Blogging is another great way to build your following. I had lots of women send in their stories, and of course when the book came out, they all wanted to buy the book, and they'd learnt about that through that blog as well. Thank you for joining us. Remember to share and invite. Yes. So blogging is a really powerful way to connect to your audience before your book is even out there as well. Also, creating a really striking cover. Get your cover done before you publish it. Hello, nice to see you, Kadira. Hello. Once you have your cover created, and it's obviously great to have your cover created, let's say 6 weeks before your book is actually out, because then you can actually use that as a visual that people can actually see and remember, and it catches their eye. Another example, let's use this one, Diet Stops Monday. We had this cover ready 6 weeks before it was due out, let's say. And the more people saw it, the more they associated the author with the book and they knew something was coming. It's a visual aid to hook them in. So you can use that on your blog, you can use that on your posts as well. So creating striking posts and getting that visual in people's minds. Another way you can promote your book is through a Twitter party, using hashtags. It's also a great way to get people all together at that time as well. So you could do a launch party online using the hashtags, hashtag Mr. Wrong, or create some sort of debate to get people talking. Another great way to promote your book is Facebook Lives. Now, I wish we had Facebook Lives when I published my first book. I shied away from videos. I did not like videos. I just was behind the camera, didn't want anything to do with that at all. But I look at it now, I think it would be a fantastic opportunity to leverage what I was doing. Why do Facebook Lives work really well? It's a great way to connect with your audience face to face. They get to see you as a person. They get to connect. They don't want to connect with things or products. They want to connect with people. You can open up interesting dialogues. You're creating that community as well. If I'm making sense, let me know what you think. Use your cover on social media to promote your book as well. You can use it on your blog. Yeah, exactly. So how do you create good Facebook Lives? You don't want to be sitting on on your phone and saying, I've written a book called Diet Stops Monday and it's really good, please go and get it, and then you're reeling off all these websites. No. You want to create an engaging debate, create a hashtag. Yeah, you want to create an engaging debate. So just looking at this already, one of the biggest things I learned from this book was that you are more likely to maintain a decent figure by eating I'm going to say what you want, but you can eat cake. It's not about dieting and starving yourself. So think about a killer headline that you can write that's going to attract people's attention. Another example could be with Mr. Wrong. Is there such a thing as Mr. Wrong or not? Is Mr. Wrong created, or are people born Mr. Wrong, or is Mr. Wrong created? Having that question gets people to, engage in a debate. I'm going live Friday at 8 p.m. Let's discuss. hashtag Mr. Wrong. Get people all involved and engaged, because people don't want to just know about the book. They want to be able to feel part of that. They want to be able to contribute, feel like they're part of that book, if that makes sense. And then, call to action for more. You know, if you want to read some more stories, or if you want to find out some success stories, or if you want to hear from the men themselves, order a copy of Mr. Wrong. What you've done is you've created a community, and that's what people like. If anyone's got any questions, please let me know. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're writing a book, if you're interested in writing a book, if you have never thought about it, I'm going to throw this out to you. What would the title of your book be? What's the title of your book? Okay, so I've offered you, I think it's been four ways to promote your book. So 1 is through blogging. Number 2 is to create a book cover. Number 3, get a good hashtag going as well. Number 4 was to do Facebook Lives, but there was one before. Oh yeah, have a Twitter part, some sort of Twitter party with the hashtags. Number 5 was to create an engaging debate via Facebook Lives about your book. So they're just 6 ways. I'm going to offer you another way, actually. A lot of authors do this. So on the day of publish, we use a platform called Ingram Spark to distribute and print our books. Ingram Spark distribute or make your book available, shift your perspective. Exactly. So Mr. Wrong. Ingram Spark makes your book available to over 39,000 online retailers, which is fantastic. CreateSpace only kind of restricts you to that one channel unless you buy expanded distribution, which means your ISBN will allow your book to be distributed in other places. However, what a lot of people don't know, because I'm going to get onto retailers in a second, is that retailers do not accept books that have been published by CreateSpace. They do not accept books created or published by CreateSpace. So it's really important to buy your own Facebook Live to promote as well. Exactly. So it's important to buy your own US ISBNs if you're based in America, Bowker.com if you're based in the UK or outside of America. Nielsen is also really good. Nielsen ISBN agency, that you have control as well and power over your book and the channels that it is distributed to. That's the name of your book. What's the name of your book again? Shift Your Perspective. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. It'd be great to hear more about that, Angie. Where are you based? So yeah, that's really important to make sure that you have you go using the right distribution channels, and I would highly recommend Ingram Spark. So did I say we were going to talk about retailers, or was it press? I think I'm going to go to retailers from this point. So I was going to give you another tip, wasn't I? So a lot of people like to use Amazon, and what a lot of people do on the day of publish, for example, I'm going to let you into a little secret, is they do something called a promotion. Now, you can enroll your book into something called Kindle Select, but that restricts you only to that platform for 90 days. I don't want to do that personally. I like to know that my book is available worldwide, anywhere, and not just on one platform. So I manually go in and change. If you set up, oh, hi from North Carolina, fantastic. So I set up a Kindle Direct publishing account, and I manually upload the book. Why do I do that? Because you have control. You can track your sales, you can take it off, you can edit it, you have full control over your book, and you can track your sales more closely as well that way. And when you set up a Kindle Direct publishing account, you upload your book, so you upload your Kindle version of your book, and you can change the price. So what a lot of authors do is they change the price on the day of publish as a special promotion, and they drive everyone to that website on that particular day. What a lot of people don't know is this is how the bestseller thing works. I feel like I might be ruining it for a few people. So how the bestseller thing works is that if you are in a category, the niche of the category can be as possible, the more chance you have of becoming this best-selling author in a particular category. I'm always very honest when I do the bestseller thing. I say bestseller in love and relationships, or bestseller in, okay? So I'll give you an example. Imagine you have written a book about fishing. You want to get it into a niche category, so you might want to get it into fishing in London. I don't know where that happens, but very niche. I can only imagine there's probably 2 books on that, if at all. Anyway, so my point is a niche category. How it works is you want to drive as many people as possible to that particular deal, and it's about how many people buy your book in a particular category at a particular time. So if your book shifts, let's say you have 100 sales in fishing in London, and the other books there have, I don't know, 50 or 25, your book is automatically going to rise to #1 bestseller in that category. People can become bestsellers for a few hours, a day, a decade, who knows, you know. And when we work at Conscious Trees Publishing, we always make sure that we say, you know, bestseller in this particular category, or we will make sure that they're there for at least a sustainable time to be able to say that, because there's a lot of people doing that. But it sounds great. So if you want to do that, set your book to a cheap price, 99 pence, a special promotion, drive as many people to that particular, just one site, to that particular site, and at a particular time, and that will increase the sales and your sales ranking on Amazon. So that's another way to promote your book as well. Thank you so much, Ultra V's. Nice to see you. Ultra V's is an author as well, and I'm going to be doing an interview with you at some point. How many books have you written so far? I think you're on book number 9. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that's another little trick as well. Another thing is to make a list of press that you want to achieve and contact them. No point in just making a list. You've got to be proactive and contact them. I managed to get a really decent spread in the Daily Mail. If you're based in the US, you may not know what the Daily Mail is, but it's a quite a big paper in the UK. You can get Mail Online and the actual Daily Mail. Not a fan of it, but I was pretty proud to have got in there. How I managed it was because 9 books. Wow, yes, man, get ready to publish book number 10. Wow. Impressive. You should be doing a live. Let me know when you're coming on. So what was I talking about? My mind has gone. It's completely gone. Can anyone remind me what I was talking about? Thank you, no problem. Press, that was it. Daily Mail. So it was by chance somebody had sent me a link to a Mail Online article. And it featured 2 authors, and they were self-published authors, who'd written a book, a love and relationship book. And I was like, oh, fantastic. So, you know, I did my digging. You've got to be a little bit of a stalker, not in a weird way, but I did my digging, and I found the name of the journalist. I had to do a lot of digging to find her actual personal email address. Not her personal email address, but her email address for work, obviously. Not info@Daily Mail, but her first and second name. Find Your Drive. Oh, lovely. I love that name of the book. Fantastic. I am offering free 30-minute consultation. So what I'll do is I'll drop the link. It's a great opportunity to discuss your book, to get some clarity and really enhance your vision and direction for your book as well, and see how we can help you. So I'll drop that link there later on. So I found out her name and I sent her an email. And so often, when I first started out, I was writing things like Mr. Wrong. My headline, my subject line would be Mr. Wrong in your bookstore, not the book, not the man, you know, thinking I was being funny. Or would you feature Mr. Wrong in your paper? And I thought, I've got to come better than that. I've got to come up with a killer headline. I've got to come up with something that will make them open it. You know, they get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. Journalists are probably the most ratty people because they're so busy and pressurized all the time. So I thought, let me make it personal. I read her article, and my headline was first name, second name of this person. I loved your article, Why Do Men Cheat? She opened that within 3 hours, I think it was, or no, it was an hour. She opened that within an hour and got back to me within 3 hours. And how do you know that? And I was like, oh wow, fantastic. But why did she open that? Because it's personal. It had her first name, second name. I spoke about an article that she had written. She didn't know who it was. I wasn't asking for anything in the subject line. I was making it all about her. For all she knows, I might have been, you know, a huge paper that wanted her to come and write for us. So in that email, I just kept it very short, saying who I was, what I'd done. So spoke about the book. Mostly spoke about my why behind the book, the passion behind the book, and what I wanted, stated my intention. You know, I'd love to have a feature in the Daily Mail. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I'd love to have a feature in the Daily Mail. And within a few months, I had quite a huge spread in the Daily Mail, and that was just doing that through myself. A lot of people spend thousands on PR companies, and there's nothing wrong with that if they get you, you get your return on your investment, if they are great at what they do, and if you have the money. If all of those 3 or 4 things I just mentioned don't happen, hello Marlene, nice to see you. If all of those 3 or 4 things are not happening, then there is so much you can do yourself in terms of self-promotion. So much you can do yourself in terms of contacting press. It takes tenacity, it takes courage, and it takes passion. Those 3 things, and resilience as well. That you are going to have periods of time where nobody's getting back to you. You might not even get anyone getting back to you, but it's about staying rooted in your why, knowing what your intention is, and following up. When I say follow up, don't call them the next day and say, I've written to you, what's happened to you? Give it a week, send them a gentle email, maybe offer them something, a gentle reminder, maybe offer them something, a link to something you've done, or, a free gift, as a follow-up, sorry. So really important to create those personal connections. Make sure you find out the name of the person that you're speaking to. Thanks. Daniela, you're giving some great tips. Please feel free to connect with Danni on Facebook. We're honoured to have you as an expert. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm pressing buttons. Yes, you can do connect with me on Facebook. My website, looking at my eyes. My website is www.consciousdreamspublishing.com, CONCSCIOUS dreamspublishing.com. Email is info@consciousdreamspublishing.com. I'll throw it all up there later anyway. As I said, I'm offering free 30-minute consultations to discuss your book and see how we can help you. But I'm loving giving you this value and information here on Girl Power Ignite. I love this group, this page. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Dallas and Julia, for inviting me to come and speak as an expert today. So if you've just joined, my name is Daniela Blechner. I'm an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. We work with authors, mainly women, with powerful messages and stories to share with the world and help them to get their book out there on a global scale. So I'm speaking with you today about how to create a clear vision for your book. So the first 3 things I said, which is the foundation for creating that vision, is knowing your why, knowing your audience, being clear on your message. When you have those 3 things on lockdown, everything else will come. Then you can start making a list of joint ventures, making a list of press that you want to get into, making a list of speaking engagements you want. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is how to get into retailers. Now, this is something that many people overlook. They don't think about, or they think they're maybe not good enough, or they think they need to be traditionally published in order to get into retailers. It is a challenge, no problem. It is a challenge to get into retailers. When I'm talking about getting into retailers, I'm talking about having your book physically stocked in retailers. And as I'm holding this book, actually, the author of this book, Aisha, has managed to get this into Waterstones, her local Waterstones. So very, very proud of Aisha for making that happen. Someone said hello. Hello, Audrey, nice to see you. If you have any questions for me at this point, please do throw them up. I'd very much appreciate that. Sorry about that. So how do you get into retailers? Very good question. First thing you need to do is to make sure that you are registered on Nielsen database. A lot of people don't do this. A lot of people just publish, or they just don't know. Okay, so it means that you need to I don't know about Americans, but I know for definitely UK. And if you are, you can use Nielsen if you are based in America. It's worldwide. So I'm going to speak about this channel. I don't know if Balka has anything similar. I'm going to speak about this. So you set yourself up a title editor account, and you put your book onto, you add all the metadata about your book on that account. What that means, gardeners, but back again. Also, when you publish through Ingram, they directly link you to Gardeners Anyway, which is a distributors. How do you get into retail? Yes, good question. So you need to have those links with the distributors. So register your book, get a title editor account on Nielsen, register your book on there so that all retailers and libraries can easily access your book. So Nielsen database has all the information about all the books. They find them through their ISBN, okay, unique identifiable number. You register your title. You register your book on Title Editor. You create something called an advanced information sheet. What is an advanced information sheet? It's a one-page CV of your book. So imagine you're entering your book for a job interview. You want to make it stand out, make it colourful. All of our advanced information sheets are colourful and well designed. Have a picture of the author, a picture of the book, interesting facts, any snippets to press. Yes, have the blurb, the standard things like, what's the size of the book, the publishing company, author name, genre, price, ISBN. So all of these stats, shall we say, but also the book summary, the audience, and things to make it stand out, like, press it may have received, or interesting facts, a little bit of information about the author to make it personal. Just one page CV. So send this off, make a list of retailers that you want to get into. So, Nielsen. So exactly. Nielsen is like a database, so it holds all the information about all the books worldwide, and they hold that through the individual standard book number, the ISBN, on the back of the book. So literally you can walk into any store and tell them, I've got a book called Diet Stops Monday, ISBN number is blah blah blah. They'll look it up. Is it on the database? Brilliant. They can order. You don't have to do anything. They will order them, 300, however many they want, and they will physically stock them in their shop that way, and then you get the royalties from that. A lot of people don't know that. Interesting thing here. Waterstones is, the huge bookstore that we have in London. I think in America you have, Barnes and Noble. I think you do, yeah. So I went onto the website and I was like, doing everything by route. What is the best way to get into Waterstones? Okay, contact head office, fill out this form and send in your book. Okay, fine, did that. They sent it straight back to me. I didn't know about advanced information sheet or anything like that. This is when I first started out. They sent it straight back to me and said, oh, this looks good, but we're not accepting it, basically. We don't accept anything from self-published authors, or whatever the line was. I was like, okay, fine. So then sort of later on down the line, about 4 months later, I wanted to do a bit of a book tour, because Valentine's was coming up, love and relationships, that's the kind of theme that's going on. And I contacted lots of different Waterstones. Barnes & Noble, okay, cool, awesome. Hello, Fiona, nice to see you. I contacted lots of different Waterstones. I contacted my local Waterstones in Croydon, and I struck up a rapport with the person there. Everything is about personal connection. So important. Personal connection is key. So I picked up the phone, spoke to Dave, and I told him what I was doing. Said I've written a book and it's doing quite well. Luckily I had that press piece, so it also helped leverage it. Knowledge is power. Thanks for the information, no problem. So that was really cool. So I spoke with him. I said I'd love to do an author talk. At that time I wasn't trying to get my book into Waterstones. I just wanted to find somewhere where I could do an author talk and have some sort of seminar and book signing. Yeah, no, that sounds brilliant. They helped me to promote on their own channels, to their newsletters, online as well. Not only that, they ordered copies of my book. So on Valentine's Day, I had my book, Mr. Wrong, in the front window of Waterstones in Croydon. And this is having been rejected by head office. So you may be rejected, in one place. Don't give up, don't stop, you keep going. Start local, go global. Start local, go global. So even though the head office in London said no, it's about, if you're enjoying, please spread. Yes, please do share the love and send this out. That would be awesome. I'm sure there'll be lots of authors who would love to hear this knowledge and help them along their journey as well. So starting local is really important. It's about creating that personal connection. Just because head office might have said no, or one Waterstones has said no, doesn't mean that other Waterstones are going to, and the same for Barnes & Noble as well. So create that personal connection, but have things as backup, have that advanced information sheet. It's like contacting press. You don't have to have a press release, but it's good to have one. A lot of journalists will expect that, so therefore a lot of retailers would expect an advanced information sheet as well. So they are my key tips. I'm sure I had one other thing that I wanted to say. I'm sure I did. It's to do with press, that's it. When you're contacting press, a good thing to do as well is to research who you're contacting. Look for something called the editorial features list. What that does is it tells you, it should give you a breakdown month by month, what is going to be covered in the issues, what are the themes in that particular issue. So for example, if your books come out in February, start local, go global, that's it. If your book's coming out in February, and they are focusing on love and relationship, and your book is about bikes, let's say, you don't want to be hassling papers saying, can you please cover this in February? Well, you haven't taken the time to find out who they are and what their vision is, okay? take your time, look for the editorial features. They don't always have them, but a lot of these magazines and newspapers do editorials, features list. Find out what they're doing month by month and see where you can fit in, and be strategic about who you contact and when you contact as well. Really, really important. I probably want to end on in terms of promoting. It's great to connect in Facebook groups as well, and online. LinkedIn is great as well, but don't spam. If anything's going to kill your book, it's going to be spamming, generic spamming. Buy my book, whatever, 99p. Connect. If you take away anything today, getting your book out there, creating a vision is all about knowing your why, knowing your audience, knowing your why, knowing your audience, and having a very clear message. But underpinning all of that, it's about creating personal connections. Connections is key. Nobody wants people spamming generic information. People want to connect with you, the author. Take the time to share your story, to share a part of you, whether it's through doing lives, whether it's picking up the phone and speaking to journalists, whether it's picking up the phone, even if they're ratty, even if actually email them first, whether it's sending a personal email to a journalist, whether it's picking up the phone and speaking to a retailer or somebody who does events, or creating those connections with joint ventures and people doing things that are similar to you, you know, creating a community of other authors. It's really important to create that community, create those connections. It can only do good for your book. Editorial features, find out what they do month by month and see where your book can fit in to be featured. Exactly. I hope that you have enjoyed my tips for how to create spamming is a no-doubt exactly for creating a clear vision. If you have any questions, I'm going to be here for a few more minutes. Please do throw them up. Let me know how I can help you. Are you writing a book? Is there anything you need to ask about, you know, creating a clear vision? Anything that you might be stuck on? Have I said anything that you're not sure about? If you do want to connect with me, I'm going to throw my website up. It's consciousdreamspublishing.com. My email address is info@consciousdreamspublishing.com. If you're based in London, I have a workshop coming up called The Power of Your Story, starting the 30th of June. It's for 10 women, so we've got 8 spaces left. We've just started advertising, and it's all about really helping you to map out that vision and make it a reality. So I can throw up the link for that as well. And yeah, just connect with me. I'm here, easily accessible, on Facebook, on Twitter, and yeah, that's it. I'm glad you've enjoyed the broadcast, Laurville. Thank you. I have been Danni Blechner. Thank you so much for watching. Girl Power Ignite, you rock. Bye bye.